Hey, good morning, boys and girls. How you guys doing today? Hope everything's going well. Today we are broadcasting live from Mr. Samosa's backyard. I'm gonna be showing you a little bit of things about the garden that we got going here, but more specifically, we're gonna be focusing on citrus trees today. What is citrus? We're gonna learn all about that, boys and girls. Hold tight. Hey, so here we go. Citrus trees are any of the variety of trees that contain citric acid inside. Citric acid is the kind of thing that kind of makes it sour. It makes the flavor very sour. Right here in our back garden, we have two citrus trees. We have this awesome lemon tree right here, as you can see. And we have this amazing blood orange tree, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about those, and then maybe even get a chance to slice them up, see what's inside. Lemon trees are super awesome. They're one of many varieties of citrus. We have lemon, we have lime, orange, grapefruit. Those are just to name a few. And it's an amazing tree. What I love so much about this particular tree is the pollinators that come every single day to pollinate it. And the way that it works is if we look very closely at this beautiful flower right there, that is a lemon blossom. And inside that lemon blossom is where the bees come. The bees come every day and they pollinate them. If we look closely, we can see these little small buds on the branch. Those eventually are going to become lemons of their own. And lemons are green at first, and then they eventually turn yellow. When they're green, they're not to be confused with the lime. A lime is a completely different type of citrus fruit. They don't turn yellow. They are automatically green. So this is beautiful. The bees come through every single day, and they pollinate these beautiful flowers. And then those beautiful flowers are going to become brand new lemons in turn. So it's a pretty awesome transformation that happens. And it's pretty cool to see those little visitors come through every day. Not only are bees pollinating these, but we also have some kind of birds that pollinate them. We have a couple hummingbirds that come by every day, and they do some pollinating of the flowers as well. So bees are not the only pollinators that come, and are not the only pollinators that pollinate gardens. They are the main pollinator, however. That's why bees are so important, especially since bees are becoming endangered right now. But yeah, bees are our number one pollinator, but we also have hummingbirds as well. I think we have a couple of bees in action that are kind of flying around. I'm seeing if I could try to catch one. Here we go. They're busy. Busy bees. See that little guy right there? He's pollinating. He's busy going inside there, drinking that nectar, taking that pollen, sticking that pollen onto his leg. And then when he flies from different flower to flower, they spread that pollen. And that's exactly how pollinators work. Hey, boys and girls. Welcome back to the garden. We're back here in Mr. Samosa's backyard and back on the citrus trees. And I'm gonna show you guys a couple of different methods that we could use if we ever want to harvest. As you can see right here, we have a tool. It's our tool with the hook and the basket. We have a couple of these back at our school. And if you guys remember, we even made juice of our own. So here's how we're gonna do it, my friends. As you can see, the basket has hooks that are facing that way. What we want to do is we want to get the stem of the orange around those hooks, so then we could then yank it down and it could fall right into the basket. So let me show you. We would go ahead and we would put our basket around the fruit so that it's around the stem. And then we go ahead and we give it a small tug. And as you can see, the fruit falls right into the basket, ready for us to grab. So that's one way, my friends. Now, boys and girls, another way that we could harvest our fruit is that we could pick it. Now, here's the thing about picking, though. You gotta be very, very careful when you're picking fruit directly from a tree, because if you pull too hard, you could actually damage the fruit before you even get a chance to enjoy it. And if the fruit gets damaged, that means that it's not gonna last that long on the shelf. The shelf life is gonna be cut in half. So most people see fruit hanging from the tree, and the first thing that they want to do is they want to just pull it as hard as they can. And as you can see, the stem is connected right there. And if we pull too hard, it could actually tear some of the orange flesh and make the fruit pretty much go bad quicker unless you use it right away. So what I like to do is if I want to pull from the tree, I actually try to give it a little bit of a twist, kind of like a small twist. And if you do it right, you could just about keep twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting and twisting, and you can just about twist it off. And as you can see, we still have the stem attached. That's exactly what we want, boys and girls. We want to make sure that the stem is still attached to the tree, because if not, then the fruit can be damaged. The best way to harvest our fruit is with the pair of garden shears or scissors, whatever you can to cut it. And what you want to do is you want to come right up to the fruit. You want to kind of come a little bit above where the fruit is connected to the stem, and you just want to give it a little bit of a snip. After you snip it, you can see how it looks. Now we have the fruit attached right to the stem. So everything's great, perfect for when we want to use it again. So those are some of the ways that we can harvest fruit, boys and girls, from the tree. We could either use the basket with the stick attached, or we could use the twist method where we go ahead and twist the fruit off the branch, or the best method of all is if we actually have a pair of garden shears. So thank you, boys and girls. We're gonna go ahead and keep learning more about some citrus fruits, and we're gonna chop some up and show you what they look like inside. Thank you very much. Well, well, well. What do we see here? Such variety. Things look so similar, yet so different. What are some of the things that we can see? Yes, boys and girls, we're going to be talking a little bit more about citrus. Hey, boys and girls, Mr. Samosa here again. Check it out. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about citrus. Right before us, we see such a different combination and a variety of different fruits. Believe it or not, they're all citrus from the same family. I'm going to go ahead and let you know some of the varieties that we have here, and maybe even slice one or two of them open, let you know what they look like inside. Now, what are citrus? See, citrus is a type of fruit tree or shrub, and they typically are characterized by fruit that has a thick rind on the outside, or the peel, and inside a nice pulpy flesh with seeds. Now, these varieties that we have here are a whole mix. One thing we also want to know about citrus fruits is that they contain citric acid inside. Citric acid is the thing that makes it taste sour. Another thing that they have is high amounts of vitamin C, which is very, very good for us in our immune system. So vitamin C is super important. So the varieties that we have here is this. This one right here actually came from Mr. Samosa's backyard garden. This is called the blood orange. I wonder why they call it that. We're gonna find out. We'll probably slice this one open. These are also lemons from Mr. Samosa's lemon tree. Don't forget we showed you guys how to pick these, either the twist method or use a pair of cutting shears and cut the top off. Or if you have the basket, you could use the basket to pull them down. This is a type of orange that they call a cara cara orange, and it's a navel type. And if you look closely at this little small hole in the back end, it kind of looks like a belly button. And navel is another word for belly button. So look at that, a cara cara navel orange. This one right here kind of looks like if it's a lemon that hasn't got ripe yet, but no, this is a lime. Remember when we were at the lemon tree, we spoke about how when lemons mature, they start off green and eventually become yellow when they're ripe? Well, limes never turn yellow because they're green. So this is how we know that they're different. They're never gonna turn yellow. They're just gonna stay green. A nice lime. This one's from Mexico. This one right here is another navel orange, but it's an heirloom variety. Remember, we spoke all about heirlooms when we were talking about tomatoes. And heirlooms are special varieties that have been grown from usually the same family or farmers, and the seeds have been well taken care of and passed down from generation to generation. Therefore, what it ensures is that that type of orange or that variety remains the same and it doesn't get cross-mixed or pollinated with other varieties and changes. It stays the same. So this is going to be an interesting one to taste. An heirloom navel orange. And this one has a little bit of a smaller navel, like a little small belly button. You know, we all have different sized belly buttons. This one right here is just a regular navel orange. Not an heirloom variety at all. Not a cara, just regular. And if we look closely, has a big old belly button right there. Big old navel orange. This lumpy old thing is not bad, no. It's actually very good. It hasn't gone bad. It's not suffering from any type of disease. Just the way it grows. And this one right here is called a mandarin. And these are very, very tasty. In Spanish, mandarins. So yeah, these are awesome. Sometimes we find these in little fruit cups, little small wedges. They're very tiny. It's going to be interesting to see what this one looks like inside when we slice it. This one right here is called a ruby red grapefruit. They kind of have a sour flavor to them, even though there's a red variety and a yellow. I only have the red today. I wasn't able to find the yellow, but the reds are said to be a little bit sweeter than the yellows. Not really a big fan of these, but maybe we'll try it out and see what it tastes like. This next variety is very interesting. It has like a little nub on top, like a little small handle thing right here. And this one is called the Tangelo. And the reason I saved this one for last, because I wanted to talk about something. I kind of briefly touched about it when I talked about heirlooms. And it's this whole idea of crossbreeding or mixing. Sometimes farmers are able to grab two varieties of orange and put them together and create a brand new variety. So this variety right here, Tangelo, for example, is a combination of two things. It's either a combination of a mandarin or a tangerine and a pomelo or a grapefruit. So that being said, we already had some varieties here that might have made that combination. So let's see. This Tangelo is a combination of a grapefruit and a mandarin. So these two things right here were crossed together, and what they ended up coming out with was this. And if we look closely, we could kind of see some characteristics of both of these in this one. So let's see what we can see first. Let's see. What do we see here first? Well, the first thing I see is this little thing on top, this little crown. Yup. So that was passed down. Another thing is the skin. This skin is a lot smoother, kind of like the grapefruit skin. And you can see the little dimples and wedges inside. So as you see, farmers crossed these two together, and when they mixed them, this is what came out. So yeah, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this awesome little run through. Now it's time to slice one open. And the one that I wanted to slice open is the blood orange. And the reason I wanted to slice it open is because it's one of my favorite fruits, and it's very interesting inside. So boys and girls, when I cut this blood orange right down the middle, what color do you think it's gonna be inside? Think about that for 1 second. And I'm gonna get the slicing. Ooh, so juicy. Wow, 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 look at that. Pieces of red, yellow. So now that we looked inside, why do you think they call it blood orange? Because inside, it's red, kind of like blood. Delicious. These are delicious. Kind of sour with a sweet note to them. Let's see if we can try this one out. Delicious. So yeah, boys and girls, thank you so much for staying here with me through this whole lesson about citrus fruits. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much, and have a blessed day.